One is legal, one is ISV, and one is reseller. So today we'll talk more about the legal side. So today we'll talk about legal side. I mean, I think everybody knows, like, right now we have three domains. One is legal, one is ISV, and one is reseller. So today we'll talk more about the legal side. I think everybody knows, like, we are using Aptus. That is a managed package that we're using on top of Salesforce, where we create agreements. Abhishek, do you really want to quickly, open up any of the?
Yes, I have logged into one of the environments. Let me share my screen.
Okay. So normally what happens is an AE creates normally, let's say, I think we all know about the process, right? I think everybody's familiar with accounts, opportunities, and everything, right? So what happens is an AE creates enough initially. Like,
you can. Sorry to interrupt you. You can assume I'm not a
Okay. Yeah, we'll start the process. Sorry.
Thank you so much. I was about to say the same thing, and Ankit, as last time I missed out. So, thank you.
No problem at all. So I think Ankit would be the right person to talk more about optis and everything, because he has a good idea about that. But I'll just give a quick overview. Like, let's say we are onboarding a new customer. For example, let's say, Coke. Take any example of any of your favorite company. For me, I always refer Coke because, we have used a lot of the Coke in our testing purpose. So let's say we're onboarding, we have decided, like, the team has decided that, we'll, the AE started negotiating, and initially we created lead, and then that converts to account and opti, right? So the business starts when you're trying to onboard any customer, you need to have some documents in place, right? It's just like you're building a house, and you need to have some documents in place similar to that. So the first document before we onboard any customer, what we have is that is called NDA, non-disclosure agreement. That is the first document. Then we have another document called MSA, Master Subscription Agreement, which is like more detail, like, you have all the terms, conditions, clauses, and everything defined in that particular agreement. Then you have another agreement called Professional Services Agreement. It's called PSA, Professional Services Agreement, wherein if you decide to provide some professional services to your customers, then you create those kind of agreements. They're called PSAs. So the process starts from the opti. Let's say, for NDAs, it starts from the account level. Like, you have already onboarded the customer, right? And then you're trying to kind of establish a link. That's when NDA comes into picture. So totally we have we have different agreements. Like, you have UMSAs and many, but what here and we use is there are three major agreements. I would say four major agreements. I would say. NDA, MSA, PSA, SELA agreements, four major agreements that we use here in Salesforce, environment, in this particular environment. So any questions, Hari, so far? I mean, any idea, like, what was
no questions,
Deepika, what was the last agreement you said?
SELA?
What was the last agreement you said? SELA something?
Yeah, SELA agreement. That is like enterprise level large agreements. I can't remember exactly the extension, but okay, I'll send it out, because we normally don't use lot, but we call that a SELA. SELA is like a huge agreement. I mean, let's say, for example, I'm talking about Coke, right? Coke it's a huge corporation. What they do is they buy a lot of licenses, a lot of agreements. So they buy it's a bundle, like let's say you're buying a fruit basket. It's like apples, oranges, and everything. So you buy like marketing cloud, service cloud, sales cloud. Like, you say, hey, I'm buying one package. So that kind of large agreements are called as service level enterprise large agreements, SELA agreements.
So one question I have, Deepika, just to start with. So in this case, who is the customer and who is the seller?
Okay, so end customer, for example, AEs, for example, let's say we have the account executives, right? The AEs, they are, Salesforce is seller and end customer is a different, whoever, like if Coke is an end customer who's consuming these licenses.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So AEs, let's say the process, I'll tell you. What happens is, let's say the AE does all the process, onboarding process, right? So initially he comes here, if it's an NDA, he creates from account level. If it's an opportunity, if it's an MSA, he creates an opportunity. He creates an agreement, and then he sends out to the legal team. Like we have a team called LSS, Legal Shared Services. What they do is they review the documents and they make sure, like, all the clauses are correct, all the document, the dollar value is right, or the clauses are right, or condition, everything. They make sure that everything is right. Once they cross check and they sign, and it goes to customer, like we have the e-signature, right? Like we send out to the customer. And again, in this document, there are multiple versions. They're negotiated, non-negotiated. But we'll talk about it later, okay? I'm just giving an overview right now. So the customer e-signs it, and then the agreement gets archived and gets stored. Like now the connection gets established between the customer and the Salesforce. Is that clear so far?
So Deepika, see, technically I understand what you're saying. You said Salesforce, right? See, Salesforce is being used by an account executive. I understand that as well. See, thing is, at a business level, there will be two entities anywhere. There will be a seller and there will be an customer who will be consuming your services. So here, account executive is acting on some kind of business. So what is he selling, or what opportunity process he is leading it? I was trying to understand. I'm not talking about Salesforce. I don't know whether you understood my question. Yeah. At a business level, what is this account executive doing?
He's selling the he's selling the licenses, right? Like he's selling the sales cloud, marketing cloud, different kind of products he's selling to the customers.
Oh, okay. Understood.
That's what business is, right now.
Understood.
Yeah, just to add on over here, Deepika, Satya, are you specifically referring to a sales cycle over here?
No. See, I was thinking we are creating some kind of application for some business, but as I understand from Deepika, you are selling the licenses, as I understand. So
products, basically products. I would say not licenses. It's licenses, but products like marketing cloud, sales cloud, service cloud, and different kind of services we are providing, right? Products and services as well. That's what we sell to the customer.
Understood.
And I hope you understand what an account executive role, right, Satya?
Come again, sorry, Ankit.
I hope you understand what an account executive role is. Like within our org 62, while we talk about A's, what they do in terms of like a generic stuff, in terms of like their roles.
I'm really not sure. See, I understand sales.
All right, let's do one thing. Probably like Deepika, just go ahead with this stuff. Like if at all there's like an overview which is needed, right, Satya, we can basically have it offline.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so Abhishek, let's just create. So far, these are the kind of agreements, and this is a legal. When legal means, we take care of the document generation and looking at the contracts and making sure that everything is in place. That's what we do. And the team that we work with is LSS, Legal Shared Services, and LCA. There's another team called LCA. Those are the two teams that we work, but majorly we interact with LSS.
Yeah, and basically, Satya, all these agreements governs the customer's acquisition and use of SFDC services. Okay, and there are certain terms and conditions, like Deepika said, which are predefined related to governing law and or I will say the SFDC personnel or beta services or free trade related to products. All are mentioned over that agreement, and we create the agreement, and there are certain processes we follow.
Yeah, understood.
Okay, so let's start with we'll start with, like I said, we have like negotiated and non, there are two different kinds of agreements, right? Again, like there are three different kinds of agreements. Again, internally, we have two different kinds of agreements, negotiated, non-negotiated. Non-negotiated is a standard agreement, like, we normally don't do any negotiations fixed. It's an online, like click-throughs and all that, right? They're called negotiated. Already predefined rules, and, customer doesn't have to make any modifications, he's happy, and that's online agreements happens like that. Negotiated is something, let's say there are two different customers and they decide upon something. They go back and forth, let's say they want to change maybe the number of licenses or maybe any condition, like they want to change maybe terms, or I exactly don't know, but if there is any kind of changes in the document, right? They negotiate. The document will be in the form of a Word document unless it gets signed, and they go back and forth, and finally once it gets signed, then the document gets converted to PDF document. Whereas non-negotiated, directly it's a PDF document, like, it gets generated as PDF document. Abhishek, correct me, because you know much idea than me in like the content version, right? So that is a difference. Like negotiation or non-negotiation. Those are two different kind of categories we have. Perfect.
Yes. Yeah.
Now let's go to one NDA.
Okay.
So, like I said, the reason why I'm showing NDA is the first document that we generate. And NDA we generate from. Give me a second, guys. Sorry. You can open up. You can just open up a blank NDA.
Yeah. We basically create it from account, and we'll use this quick action button.
So meanwhile, while Abhishek opens up, like we have something called entity, like each and every region. For example, like we have the revenue owners divided, right? I mean, let's say we have APAC, AMER, and then we have Italy, France, like in different Brazil, like we have different regions. Okay, depending upon the region, the content is generated. We have the templates, and the basic meat, for this agreements is the templates. All the content is written in that. I mean, like for this region, what should be the governing law, what should be the venue, and who is the signing entity, and all those things will be in the templates. So we use templates. Maybe Abhishek will bring that up, and then I can show you what I'm talking about.
It's taking time to load.
No
Just a
worries.
sec.
Sure, no problem.
Yes, Deepika.
Okay, so this is the one I'm talking about. Like we're trying to create an NDA right now. Okay, so it's a 3-step process. Like initially, I'm going with the non-negotiated. I don't want to go with negotiated first itself because it's negotiated is easy one. And like you see, the document is PDF, and the Abhishek, 1 second now. And if you see negotiated, it's a doc. It will be generated in the form of a doc. Okay. And this is the region I'm talking about. We have different regions like AMER, APAC. Can you scroll down? Depending upon these regions, we have the templates created. Pick up anything, Abhishek.
Well, let's start on AMER. Yeah.
So these are the templates I'm talking about. This particular region has templates. So what does template is? It has all the clauses and everything. We use the migration, Xauthor, where we can do the redlining of documents and everything. So that's the reason we use Atlas is the best tool. That's the reason we are using because of its approvals and the redlining and everything. So we picked up this. We have when choosing that region, this template popped up because it's predefined. Certain conditions will help us to create this thing. So we have and you have this
templates we have defined.
Yeah, and you have this testing demo account, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So this is a customer. Whoever would be signing, right? We are adding that information out here. Right now, Abhishek is my customer. Maybe I should. Which box is it? Okay, I'm not in upgrade for. I don't exist.
I just recently did my testing over here, so I chose this box.
Okay. Looks like your VPN is going in and out, I think.
Yeah.
So we are choosing the customer who needs to sign that, and we're taking the template. Template will tell us, what I'll show you what happens when you choose a template. Go to the next.
It looks like I have a bad connection.
Yeah. So like I said, it's kind of a 3-step process, right? And right now the account is getting created, the agreement is getting created, sorry. And this whole process, AE does this process. So AE will be this global ops, the certain profiles like global ops or sales fields or whatever profiles, they come and do this process. They create this agreement. Documentation meeting, come on. So it takes a little while. I mean, this screen takes a
Okay. What happened to this one? Just a sec.
Otherwise. Okay, fine. Abhishek, we can open up the one that we already created. We don't have to create new. That's totally fine.
Yeah, sure.
We have shown already, so basically that's the steps that we followed, right? Like you saw that. Next, and then we'll land up in a agreement.
Yeah. I'll be opening one of the ND records.
Yeah. Because they'll do the hands-on, and they will get more better than us once they do the hands-on.
So Deepika, for generation of these documents, right? So are we using any templates that we got from Aptos package?
Templates, not from Aptos package, but legal business, they put in some templates. Like right now, when I choose a region as AMER, you saw one template popping up, right? APAC, AMER. I can't recollect the template name, but yeah, those templates, business puts in, and we put the clauses like for this region, this template which should, show up. We put those conditions in the logic behind that.
Yeah. Okay, and this is the agreement for Germany region. Okay, and this is the agreement record with the deed. Yeah, continue.
Add on, right? Satya, I think what happens is a separate team which basically from business, not just like for legal, they'll basically manage all of the template, like, in terms of like configuring the templates within the system. So they'll basically have it already defined, and then based on like what region or entity is getting selected, right? Based on that, it will basically pick up that particular template to update all of either like the smart fields which are getting utilized from the agreement also. So that's where it will come into picture.
So they'll be aware of
yes.
In case of generation of any PDF, right? There will be some merge fields, right? So they'll be aware of what all merge fields.
Correct. So we have like, they basically be adding merge fields and everything within the template itself. So they'll basically do that stuff.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
No worries.
Okay, so right now this is a document, right? This is a document that it's not the AMER one, it's Germany one, but this is how the documents get generated, and this is how we get to see the details in the document. You want to open the document, Abhishek? Probably generated document. So this is how the documents get generated, and like Satya, to answer your question, these ones like the region, the customer name, those are the smart or merge fields, right? Some of the values get populated from smart fields and some from the merge fields. So this is a template that they have configured for this particular region.
Sure.
Yeah, these are the clauses, and this is the one that you see on the signing contract, signing entity, like the internal entity. Like basically for every region, we'll define one internal entity here. The concept, there might be different concepts everywhere, but in Salesforce, for every region, one internal entity is defined. That's default, that gets generated the moment you generate the document. So right now, it's not archived, I think, right, Abhishek? It might be in signature, something like that, I believe.
No, it is archived. I just changed the status. It is archived because you can see since it's a non-negotiated agreement, so all the conditions are predefined over here. So just the customer will sign it, and the agreement will be in effect and archived. But in case of negotiated one, as Deepika said, we will be giving the agreement, we will be generating the agreement, and we will be providing the customer for review. Once customer has reviewed it, then there will be two parties signing the agreement. One will be from the Salesforce side, and another will be the customer side. Then the customer will then the agreement will be in effect.
Thanks,
Got the
Abhishek.
point?
Yeah.
Yeah. So these
are these templates customizable, like for our liking? Like, can the dev team make any changes to the layout and how the format of the template?
I'll let answer. Is Venkat here?
Yeah, Mahesh is here.
Yeah, I think it's template object that I know, but I'll let Venkat answer this. So Venkat, do you want to answer that?
Sorry, I didn't understood the question. Is it like we are asking whether those templates are customizable, right?
Yes. See, question is targeted like, we can add, we can change the header, footer, etc. So once the other team delivers to us, is it customizable by us or
no. It's totally owned by that business team itself, like Samad and folks. Satya, to be very specific over here, they basically do everything, and they'll get a final business approval on that as well. And they'll basically be maintaining it as well from an ownership perspective as well. So anything which is coming, any request which is coming in terms of modifications to an existing template, we will basically route it to those folks straight away.
And this agreement object that we are talking about, it's a custom object built by us, or is it? Did we get it from somewhere?
Aptus object.
Okay, good. Thanks.
Yeah, go ahead.
So layout and all, I don't know, Satya. I mean, changing the layout on the template, I'm not sure if we change it or not. But yeah,
I think we are using XOAuthor contracts for that, right? For generating templates and all. I'm not sure who is using that, but XOAuthor contract that Aptus pays for.
XOAuthor for addition of some clauses or anything, I thought.
Yes.
Sorry, I couldn't get that, Lata. I'm sorry. What was that? So, what is that? Sorry.
XOAuthor contract, right?
Yeah. Okay. So you talk about XOAuthor. Okay. XOAuthor is used to do some kind of redlining and all that, right? I mean, if you want to make any changes to the, let's say you template. I mean, let's say you send it this is non-negotiated, right? If this is a negotiated document and you want to change the contract, any change in the template side, then that's when you do the redlining, and that's where XOAuthor comes into picture.
Okay.
If you have to make modifications, right, on the executed one, then you do the inline editing and all that through the XOAuthor. That's where this tool is used. But initial generation happens through templates. I mean, there's another object called template where you load all the related templates, like, for specific region. On the ISV side, we use query templates, which means like, for this region, this template should show up, this is a condition. But on the legal side, I think there's some logic. I don't know much about the logic, but for this region, the template shows up. That's how this has been built. XOAuthor is for modifying the documents, modifying the agreements. Once it's in the process of negotiation, they want to do some redlining, some changes to the clause and all that. That's when XOAuthor, you change from there.
Are these templates people force templates, or how are they? Do you know, Deepika?
Abhishek, can you just go template object? This is very template. Let's go template. Just say template.
Yeah.
And
Just to know more technically, Satya, on this, I think the purpose of this call is basically to give a functional process overview. That's more of it, like from an architecture or a structure perspective, if that's something which is required as a need, right? So potentially like Sishu or somebody like Mahesh can basically have a technical walkthrough of the schema and other stuff, if that's something which we're looking over here.
Yeah, definitely. As a technical person,
because these are more of structural things, and probably I would intend to have a separate technical session for that.
Definitely, we can have it. And one more question. I won't interrupt you guys a lot. So, are we using any CPQ features of Aptos, or only some of it are being used?
So that's a totally different, discussion altogether. Like in terms of like if we are using Aptos for CPQ or not, right? That's what you're trying to say.
Correct.
So yeah, it's something which we can still probably. I don't think so. The folks over here could basically be. Could have an answer to that. It's more of like likes of Jiten or like maybe like Amrita. So they are the correct people to answer the question at this point of time.
Okay, sure.
Satya, are you asking like how does NDA or MSA agreement getting generated from technical point of view?
I was just thinking when we talk about templates, I was thinking, templates can be created in various ways. So Visual Force page is something that we can use to generate a PDF. So as part of
from a solution perspective, Satya, that's why I was recommending to have a technical session, which you would basically get more clear answers to all the stuff, because this like all these sessions are like more towards functional business overview and not more of like sessions.
I can give you a little overview. Like whenever we are clicking on that button, it is basically invoking a flow. And that agreement generation that which you saw, that is done using web page. So, any.
Hello, Deepika. I have one question.
Yeah, go ahead, Deepika.
Yeah. Right now we are using Google Docs. We are not using MS Office. For Google documents, XAuthor is available? Because I have not yet downloaded.
I think it's more for Word, Datta. I think that's the process. Through basically it will be like whenever like any non-negotiated changes, or like if the vendor is asking for any kind of sort of changes, specifically if the use case is there for us to use XAuthor and check in those documents, especially you will see that in reseller also. So wherein like whenever the need is there, they'll have a Word document, Word copy. And even the XAuthor, once you know more about XAuthor in terms of rendering, you'll get to know what sort of like documents are supported over there.
Okay. Yeah. Because we are only practicing negotiated. Non-negotiated is not available everywhere, and also in our Salesforce.
Yes, kind of document altogether when you say about non-negotiated, which basically means there's no changes. Okay, if you're getting it, what I'm saying. If there's no changes, the same document, which is like there's no changes that's what. So there's no different concept of a separate document type for non-negotiated document or negotiated document. Okay.
Right. No. My intention was whenever we complete our document in case of the PDF, what will happen in case of our document or anything is there, XAuthor modified documents, what signing process is happening in that case?
Okay.
So negotiated, right? Ankit, let me take that, no problem. Let me take that. So for non-negotiated, right, unless it gets archived, the document will not be converted to PDF. So whole process happens like, let's say you're negotiating back and forth, right? So the whole thing that happens in the Word document, which means you have an option to modify the clauses or anything, right? Unless the status, you sign the document and everything gets the deal done, that's when, when the status becomes archived, that's when documents converted to PDF and get stored in the content library. Is that clear?
Yeah, but whenever our DocuSign is complete, in case of the PDF, the document is generated in Salesforce directly. Means from the mail, customer mail, this document is generated to PDF is signed copies available in our Salesforce org. In case of the
Tata, I think it differs from scenarios to scenario. So if you see for reseller, right, there's a concept of executables and non-executables, right? So when we say an executable is getting shared for a counterparty signature, which basically means that everything has been approved by legal on the executables, and then either we upload import that offline document, which is getting from legal, which is like an executable PDF in case of if it's a negotiated agreement. And that's a PDF itself, which we upload and we share it across for counterparty signature. And it's not like at the time of signature, it becomes a PDF. So there's nothing like that. Okay. And maybe if you want more, we can have a separate offline discussion.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, Deepika, please.
Okay, sorry. So I think so that was about NDA. Sorry, I think I know we kind of deviated a little bit, but that was more of NDA. And any questions on NDA functional side? Let's not talk about technical because I'm not technical.
The functional side, I have a questions about the statuses. Whenever each and every status change, what will happen? Approval process or other process?
So legal side, we don't have approvals at the time. I mean, like you might have seen approvals from the ISV side and reseller side. Right? Similar approvals does not exist in legal side.
No. Here is actions is there, not terminal amendment and another one is.
I'll walk you through that. So, Abhishek, can you just go ahead with the status first? Not these statuses. This one. So right now, normally what happens is there are different statuses. Like, can you just change the status category? Like initially when you create, right, it will be request and I think ready for signature, something like that. Can let it modify. And there's a life cycle to this status, Datta. I mean, initially it will be like in request, and then it will be in signatures. When you send out for signature and ready for signatures. And
if any document is available for these statuses, whenever each and every status will change, what will happen? Please share.
Yeah, I do have that. I do have a list of what happens on each button. Like for example, these buttons get activated at certain